I want to look at some techniques in integration today. And in case you want to study up further area of integration as well as differentiation or other part of mathematics, you can always visit my blog, that is www.examsol.blogspot.com, and download free study materials there, both ebooks and videos. Now I want to look at how to integrate power function. Okay, let's say we have power function of the form x raised to power n. I want to integrate it. Okay, this is an indefinite integral. This is how it normally comes. This is a power function. That's a problem of integration in the form of power function. Now the rule of integrating this form of function is equal to this is x raised to power n. So we add 1 to the power, so that becomes n plus 1. Then we divide the whole result by the new power, which is n plus 1. So that has given us the integration, but we have to add a constant c to it, and that is what makes it an indefinite integral. It's a rule. We always add constant of integration to our result. Okay, let's take like 2 examples to corroborate what the Lord have just given. For instance, now let us evaluate x squared dx. All right, it is obvious that the power of this function here is 2. We raised x to power 2. So following the rule that I've just given here, right, which is the rule of power function and integration of power function, we will add 1 to the power, that becomes 2 plus 1, and then we divide the results by the new power. Then we add the constant c. So that gives us what? It gives us x to the power 3 all over 3 plus constant of integration. Right? Always use this rule when you are integrating power function, a function that is in form of power. Then let's take another example. I think I have like 2 examples on this particular area, a particular type of integration. Now let's say we have x dx. Now we are integrating x. Now we have to know that the power of x here is 1, so that's x raised to power 1. Okay, so the integral of this function will become x raised to power 1, then we add 1 to it because the initial power has been 1. Then we divide the result by the new power, which is 1 plus 1. Then add the constant of integration. That gives us x to the power 2 all over 2 plus c. How this thing is getting clearer to you? Yeah, we've not done any magic. We are just applying the rule that I've stated earlier in before the first example. Now the last example under this section, which I'm going to a little bit emphasize, is that when we have stuff like integral 2 dx, now you can see that this is not an x function, this is 2. Right? If you want to integrate that, we have to rewrite it as integral 2x to the power 0 dx. You understand? Although if I am to integrate it, I'll just say the answer is 2x plus c. I always multiply the constant by x, then I add c to it. So that's the integration of a constant. But let me explain how come about that. Since x here is 1, x raised to the power 0 is 1, so we can write, instead of writing 2, we can say 2x raised to the power 0, because that is still equal to 2 times 1, which is what? 2. And then we say 5 now, I can write that 5x raised to the power 0, because x raised to the power 0 is 1, and 1 changes nothing when it multiplies anything. So this will now become, this one can be brought out. Please understand how we are doing it. Can be 2 integral x to the power 0 dx. Do you understand that? I factor out this 2 because it's a coefficient. So now we now have is equal to 2 times, we can put in a bracket, we just integrate this x to the power 0, that becomes x to the power 0 plus 1, then over 0 plus 1, then plus c. What does that give us? X to the power 0 is x raised to the power 1, that's 2x raised to the power 1 over 1 plus c. So what do we have? We have 2x plus c. So you can see now that when we integrated 2, we have 2x plus c. So it's a rule of thumb that whenever we have a constant like 4, we want to integrate 4 the answer will just be 4x plus c. So if I say 1/2 dx, the answer is going to be what? Half x plus c. So those are the rules that you just need to master. So that is it. Now, finally, if you may ask, occasionally we come across question of the form integral dx. Now, as a math student, you should know that this t means integral 1 dx, okay? And now from what I've told you, that's going to be what? 1 times x plus c, and that's what? X plus c. So when you integrate the x, you have x plus c. Oh, I'll be able to give you nice shots this time. I want to go through it and understand it. You can go over it over and over and over again until you have a perfect understanding of what I have introduced to you. Make sure you go over it again so that you can really have a good understanding. You can visit my website, as my blog, and download many study materials. Of course, I know they are going to be of good help to you. Once again, it is examsol.blogspot.com. Right? Thank you, and I wish you all the best.